Hello friends. In the game of power, you are surrounded by people who have absolutely no reason to help you unless it is in their interest to do so. And if you have nothing to offer their self-interest, you are likely to make them hostile. For they will see in you just one more competitor, one more waster of their time. Those that overcome this prevailing coldness are the ones who find the key that unlocks the stranger's heart and mind, seducing him into their corner, if necessary, softening him up for a punch. But most people never learn this side of the game when they meet someone new rather than stepping back and probing to see what makes this person unique. They talk about themselves, eager to improve their own willpower and prejudices. They may not know if they are secretly creating an enemy, a register, because there is no more infuriating feeling than having your individuality ignored, your own psychology unacknowledged. Remember, the key to persuasion is softening people up and breaking them down gently. Seduce them with two-pronged approach. Work on their emotions and play on their intellectual weakness. Be alert to both what separates them from anyone else, their individual psychology, and what they share with everyone else, their basic emotional response. Aim at the primary emotion: love, hate, jealousy. Once you move their emotions, you have reduced their control, making them more vulnerable to persuasion. When T. E. Lawrence was fighting the Turks in the desert of the Middle East during World War I, he had an epiphany. It seemed to him that conventional warfare had lost its value. The old-fashioned soldier was lost in the enormous armies of the time, in which he was ordered about like a lifeless pawn. Lawrence wanted to turn this around. For him, every soldier's mind was a kingdom he had to conquer. He committed psychological motivated soldiers would fight harder and more creatively than a puppet. Lawrence's perception is still more true in the world today. There so many of us feel alienated, anonymous, and suspicious of authority, all of which makes overt power plays and forces even more counterproductive and dangerous. Instead of manipulating lifeless pawns, make those on your side convinced and excited by the cause you have enlisted them in. And to accomplish this, you need to deal with their individual psychologies. Never clumsily assume that the tactic that worked on one person will necessarily work on another. The quickest way to secure people's mind is to demonstrating as simply as possible how an action will benefit them. Self-interest is the strongest motive of all. A great cause may capture minds, but once the first flush of excitement is over, interest will feel useless. There is something to be gained. Self-interest is the soldier's foundation. The people who are best at appealing to people's minds are often artists, intellectuals, and those of more poetic nature. This is because ideas are more easily communicated through metaphors and imagery. It is always good policy then to have in your pocket at least one artist or intellectual who can appeal concretely to people's minds. Finally, learn to play the number game. The wider your sport base, the stronger your power. You too must constantly win over more allies on their level. A time will inevitably come when you will need them. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others after wanting to move in your direction. A person who have seduced become your lol pants. And the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the resistant by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others and they will grow to hate you. The keyhole: people build wall to keep you out. Never force your way in. You will find only more walls within walls. There are doors in these walls, doors to the heart and mind, and they have teeny keyholes. Peer through the keyhole, find the key that opens the door, and you have access to their will with no ugly signs of forced entry. The difficulty in the way of persuasion lie in my knowing the heart of the persuaded in order thereby to fit my wording into it. For this reason, whoever attempts persuasion before the throne must carefully observe the show and feeling of love and hate, his secret wishes and fear, before he can conquer the heart. If you have learned this, then work on the heart and minds of others. You can seduce anyone. So, learn this. Thank you.